It's time for JordiCar. You're here on NBC Deportes. It's time for round 10 of the Oxxo JordiCar series. It brings us here to the beautiful city of Detroit. It's time for the Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix here at Belle Isle. It's a street circuit, 3.7 kilometers long, 14 turns the drivers will have to tackle today, and they already have tackled it in the form of qualifying, and we're going to take a look at the grid right this instant. On pole, it's pole merchant himself, Sean Franchitti, back in the saddle ahead of Alejandro Garcia. P3 goes to Jack Carroll, and Robbie McIntyre rounds out row 2. Then we have Miguel Marquez and Cesar Cohen. Row 4 is rounded out by Naran O'Neill and rookie Kink Demon. Just a bra moment fills out row 5 with Joseph Marks. Then we have Real KDY20 and Memento rounding out row 6. We keep it moving. Row 7 goes to Fifth Gear, teammate of the pole sitter. Then we have the Trackhouse of Palo Season, the Andretti of Sonoda Fan, and Niarel on row 8. Nikki Tofu for Andretti rounds out row 9 with Etienne Jones. Then on the final row, it's George Brown for Trackhouse and the number 5 McLaren of Dan Friends. Green flag is about to come in the air. Now the drivers are off. Sean Franchitti trying to get a beeline into P1, but it's not gonna work. He's side by side with Garcia, who goes round the outside. He uses the push to pass, but Sean Franchitti's gonna try and fight back down the inside. It's not gonna work. Alejandro Garcia leads lap 1, halfway through lap 1 here at Detroit. 16 laps around these streets. There goes the rookie Kink Demon trying to make a move. Doesn't work out. Sean Franchitti's not putting it down without a fight. He still has a bit of push to pass left in the tank. He's going to use it to go around the outside. He takes the lead back and he leads lap 1 here at Belle Isle. But Garcia emptying the clip to no avail because Sean Franchitti's defending with his push to pass as well. Meanwhile, the rookie Kink Demon is up to P5 right behind his Penske teammate of Jack Carroll. We look further down the grid. It appears Robbie McIntyre has gotten by Alejandro Garcia. He's now into P3 as Jack Carroll is the highest driver at the moment on the hard compound tire. That will obviously become a piece of strategy later as the teams are already coming into the pits. Garcia has a problem coming into the pits because he was blocked by race leader Sean Franchitti. But is it that the softs can only go 2 laps? If the softs can only go 2 laps, we're in for an interesting race today, folks. Does that mean starting on the softs was the right call? Kink Demon's great race looks like it's gonna come to a proper problematic end because his car is smoking right now as he battles the McLaren of Cesar Cohen. We got, who's that, Miguel Marquez trying to go around the outside. It's not gonna work. There goes Sean Franchitti. He gets by Cesar Cohen and he's back into P2 as Jack Carroll, who started on the hards, is now filtering out into the race lead. Lap 4 here in Belle Isle, quarter of the way through. We got a 3-way battle going on. I believe that's Garcia, who seems to be smoking. Is that him? It's Naran that's smoking. Naran has damage as Garcia goes round the outside, and following him is Robbie McIntyre, the Scotsman. He's now up into P5. Cesar Cohen seems to have problems as well as Jack Carroll comes into the pits on lap 4. So the hards can go 4 laps and the softs can only go 2. We're going to see a lot of pit stops today then, folks. Do you just go on the hards all the way then? If you take the hards, how many stops is that? 3? Surely it's 3. But let's keep watching. There goes Jack Carroll down the inside of Miguel Marquez as we look to the race leader Sean Franchitti, who is on the softs, which means he's probably going to come into the pits this lap. This track is a tire killer, folks, and because it's a tire killer, I can't really tell you who's going to win the race. I'll tell you this though, Kink Demon, the rookie, looks like he's on for a maiden podium in JordiCar. Sean Franchitti pits and he comes out in a comfortable P6 with clean air as Kink Demon roughs up his experienced teammate Jack Carroll. He's going to try and go down the inside of Miguel Marquez. No, that's Robbie McIntyre rather. And now Kink Demon, oh, what's this? We need to pit again. What's this? Sean Franchitti has a problem. Sean Franchitti has a car issue. It looks like he needs to come back into the pits. He hasn't used any of his push to pass yet. as we see Alejandro Garcia come in. Sean Franchitti back into the pits for an unscheduled stop. This is going to hurt his chances of winning the race, and it's going to filter the rookie King Demon into the lead and his teammate Jack Carroll into P2. It's a Penske 1-2 around the streets of Detroit. We're better to have a Penske 1-2, in my humble and honest opinion. Is Roger from Detroit? He might be. Hopefully they edit this in the post if he is and say that I was right. There goes Jack Carroll. He's going to try and go down the inside. The two of them come into the pits. And that's going to allow Alejandro Garcia for Juncos to filter out into the lead. But it means that the rookie, King Demon, is going to come out in P3 with fresh... What tires is he on? He's on softs. Alright, so there goes King Demon. Using the fresh softs to his advantage. He's going to try and run down our race leader. The question is it going to work? There's Alejandro Garcia on degrading softs at the moment. King Demon is on a fresh set. And as we can see, Garcia is struggling through the corners. Again, folks, expect a lot of pit stops. There goes Garcia. This track is an absolute tire killer. And I think Jack Carroll has made the right call here to just keep being a hards tire merchant. Because, honestly, why would you want to pit that many times? If you go for the hards all the way, it's a 3-stop race. That might be the difference between winning and losing, but it's safe to say this has been a career-defining performance by King Demon. If you remember when we were on the streets for the Telcel race in Spain, yeah? King Demon had a standout performance, but then it faded away. But this is different, folks. With only 7 laps left to go, King Demon seems to be in prime position to get not only his first podium in JordiCar, but maybe even his first win. But the problem is his softs have gone off, and now Jack Carroll is going to pounce. Is he going to wait for him to pit, or is he going to try and get him before? It looks like Jack's tires aren't that healthy either. He's got more grip, but at what cost? And if we look in P3, Sean Franchitti, his car is looking kind of damaged. He had the unscheduled stop, and now his car is smoking. Is that him in the pits? Yes, it is. And following him in the pits is Alejandro Garcia and Just a Bro moment. But the thing is, King Demon's going to come out on hards with clean air in front of him. So if he can bag a couple quick laps here and keep Robbie McIntyre at bay, we might be seeing King Demon get into the lead, because we know for a fact that Jack Carroll is now the hunted with his degraded tires. So it's going to be interesting to see how far ahead of Carroll King Demon will be. It looks like he's going to be ahead by a large margin. Jack Carroll is only now coming out the pits with little, like, let's say how many laps to go, 4 or 5 laps to go. 3 wide battle in the back. Cesar Cohen down the inside of Sean Franchitti. Oh, Miguel Marquez tries and fails to get by the DHL Chip Ganassi Racing 10 of Sean Franchitti. There goes Robbie McIntyre down the inside of someone. That was a lapped car, actually. As we look to the fight for P2, it's between 3 cars at the moment. Are they gonna pit? All right, so there goes Miguel Marquez. Is that Miguel Marquez? No, it wasn't. My eyes are going. All right, but I know for a fact we got Garcia versus Jack Carroll for P2. And here comes Just a Bro moment, squeezing the Ganassi of Sean Franchitti out of his path. The two of them are still going at it. Now here's the thing, folks. This could end up being the last stop of the race, but only if you come in for a set of hards. If King Demon pits for hards, he doesn't pit at all. It looks like he's going to try and stretch it 1 more lap so that he can pit for the soft tire. That has to be his plan, but he has a commanding lead right now. I don't see him losing it, folks. I really don't. What a move by Robbie McIntyre. He catches bro sleeping. What a move. That's probably move of the race right there. He just dragged Sean Franchitti's trousers to the ground in an absolutely exposing move into turn 1 and 2. Amazing stuff here on the streets of Belle Isle. But these drivers are definitely going to try and come in for their last stop of the day. Jack Carroll stays out. Is he going to try and stretch it to the end? King Demon does exactly what I predicted he was going to do, and he's pit for softs to go to the end, and if Jack Carroll doesn't pit, it's gonna be an interesting end of the race to see whether or not he can make these tires stretch to the end. I personally don't think he can. I think this race is solely in King Demon's hands. Jack Carroll's struggling. King Demon is already there. The gap is almost less than a second. Jack Carroll does not have the grip. He's probably gonna pit. He doesn't pit, but it doesn't matter. The rookie King Demon takes the lead on the final lap of the race. He's had such a hard season. He's had such a rough season. I remember his debut. He was crashing, almost coming to a halt in the middle of the track. I was like, who is this guy and where did he come from? But in just a couple races, how many rounds has it been since that? 10 rounds later, that same Demon is about to take a maiden victory on the streets of Detroit as he rounds out the final corners. King Demon is a winner in the Oxxo JordiCar series. What a performance. It's a Penske one too. Jack Carroll P2, and then we have, yes, that's right, the Juncos of Alejandro Garcia coming in for P3. Robbie McIntyre and Just a Bro Moment round out the top 5. We have a rookie winning on the streets of Detroit. You love to see it. We've seen the rise of King Demon here in the Oxxo JordiCar series. Is this the first of many, folks? Let's take a look at the results. Penske 1-2. King Demon with a commanding near 4-second victory over teammate Jack Carroll as Garcia rounds out the podium. Cesar Cohen is the only representative of McLaren in the top 10. Dan Frien's nowhere to be seen. He finished dead last. 5th gear, P11 Palos season, P12. Joseph Marks with a terrible run. He's all the way down in P16. But those are your results for the Detroit Grand Prix here in the Oxxo JordiCar series. If you take a look at the standings, Sean Franchitti continues his stranglehold at the top of the championship. Robbie McIntyre P2, Jack Carroll is P3. Then we have the two Juncos rounding out the top 5 in the championship. If we look further down, look at that, King Demon up into P13. He's ahead of 5th gear, who is in a Ganassi. Yeah, so good day for King Demon. And then if we look further down, you'll see the real star of the show, unpaid intern, still on a nice 20 points. Still beefing Dan Friens, who's had multiple races to his name this year. What does that tell you, folks? Give me the McLaren keys, yeah? Scuderia Ferrari leads the championship by a healthy margin over their customer team, Juncos Hollinger Racing Ferrari. Then we have Chip Ganassi Racing in P3. That's JordiCar from Detroit. Thanks for tuning in.